Why do people wear white during New Year's Eve in Brazil? Or why do you see people skipping waves at the sea at night on the same date? My name is Anna, and on this video I'll be telling you about 6 traditions in Brazil, including these 2, about New Year's Eve and why people do that. So let's start. So I split this video in kind of 3 sections: traditions about food, traditions about the sea, and traditions about clothes. So I'll tell you 2 of each so that whenever you're celebrating New Year's Eve in Brazil, if you see people doing that, you know why. So the first 2 traditions about food. The first one is eating pomegranate. But not only anything about pomegranate. It's a very specific thing. You need to eat 7 of these little bulbs inside of the pomegranate, keep the seeds and store them in your wallet until Epiphany's Day, which is also known as King's Day, or at least in Portuguese is Dia de Reis, which is the 6th of January, which is supposed to be when the 3 Magi, I guess, arrive to visit Jesus with gifts. And that is supposed to attract prosperity and money to you in the new year that starts. This tradition originated in Portugal, and I've seen it said that depending in different regions in Portugal, it's the different number of seeds. But the idea is always the same. You keep some seeds and you save it around the Magi days, or you keep them until that day, or you do it on that specific day, and it's supposed to bring you some money. To be honest, this is not a tradition my family used to have, but I know it's a very popular one, and maybe it's because I don't actually have too close of a Portuguese descendants, but maybe my Brazilian compatriots that might have Portuguese descendants might let me know in the comments if they did that in their family or not. The second one also has to do with food, is eating lentils on the New Year's Eve. So for this one, it comes from Italy, and it's supposed to, again, also bring you some money. I'm not sure what is the thing with food and bringing money, but apparently if you eat lentils on New Year's Eve, you're supposed to attract some abundance, prosperity, wealth for you into the next year. As I said, it originated in Italy and was brought with the Italians when they arrived in Brazil in the early 20th century. And some people say that it's because the lentil shape resembles a little bit of a coin, so that apparently because of the resemblance, they say you would get wealthy throughout the year. I guess it's worth trying. I personally love lentils, so that wouldn't be any torture to me to just go and eat lentils. So yeah, you could try and do that. Now, speaking about the traditions related to the sea, the ocean, those traditions have a bit more of a religious background, and the 2 that I'm going to mention here both have their origins in the Afro-Brazilian religions such as Umbanda and Candomblé, but it's also a mix of like Amerindian religions, which is from indigenous people in America, that's how we would call them in Brazil, or a mix with the Catholicism as well. So all of that kind of melting pot of religion gave rise to several traditions and what we call sympathies in Brazil, which is kind of like small rituals people would do to attract a certain type of thing to them. So this 2 will be about that. So let's talk about the third in our list. The first thing, the sea traditions, which is skipping 7 waves. So if you're spending your New Year's Eve in anywhere in the coast of Brazil, you will probably see some people skipping waves. So those are 7 waves you need to skip, and at each hop, you need to make a wish and hope for that wish to be granted for the year that is coming. This is because the sea is the realm of one of the Afro-Brazilian gods called Iemanjá, and she is the lady of all the water bodies, and the sea is very important. So a lot of people go to ask her for things and to skip the waves. The number 7 also oftentimes is used to represent the 7 of the kind of main orishas, which is the Afro-Brazilian gods. Actually, they originated in the African religion from the Yoruba people that were assimilated because of when they were brought as slaves to America. They brought obviously their culture as well, and nowadays the culture still persists. The religion is very interesting. I mentioned a little bit about this religion when I am speaking about Salvador in another video, but you will find the connection with the Afro-Brazilian religions very strong, especially in Salvador and Rio, which were the main places where a lot of enslaved people from Africa would arrive. So the culture is still very present. So if you decide to do that, even for fun or just because you believe in it, or if you want to try, make your luck, the way you do it is you make your 7 hops, you make your wishes, and when you're coming out, you need to kind of come back slowly without turning your back into the sea until your feet are completely out of the water. So only then you should turn around and show your back to the sea. I guess it's probably as a sign of respect to the goddess, but you will probably see people skipping the waves. Some of them might not do the actual entire ritual. That's up to you, and it's just a fun, interesting ritual. You can do it, either you believe it or not, but it's an interesting one that you're gonna see a lot. Now the next one also has to do with Iemanjá, the fourth in our list, and is to send off small boats with offerings to Iemanjá, to the goddess of the seas. In those small boats, people will put fruits, they will put candles, they will also put small kind of vanity items such as a hair comb or a mirror or soap. And the idea is to either thank Iemanjá for the blessings received throughout the year that has passed, or to request to make a new wish for the year coming as well, or just to simply honor her. Typically, the day that people celebrate Iemanjá is the 2nd of February. However, during New Year's Eve, you're going to see a lot of rituals that celebrate her as well because of the requests people do, as she's also seen as the goddess that is of maternity. So when you're asking for protection, when you're asking for care, usually that's the goddess you would turn to. Now, in relation to traditions with clothes, so the first one that I wanted to speak about was wearing white during New Year's Eve. This is probably the most noticeable one, the one that you're going to see throughout Brazil, because obviously not everybody goes to the coast and are able to do the traditions of the sea, as I just mentioned, but they will probably be wearing some sort of white in there. This also has origins in the Afro-Brazilian religions, Umbanda being one of them, or Candomblé. And the reason for that is because it's the color of peace, and also it's the color of Oxalá, which is one of the biggest orishas there are in there, and he's supposed to be one of the most powerful ones. So that's the color that represents him. So that's the color people wear. Nowadays, the tradition kind of expanded to include other colors. So you're gonna have yellow for, again, asking for prosperity, abundance, wealth. You're gonna have green if you're asking for hope. You're gonna have pink if you're asking for love, and red for passion. There is a bunch of other colors, but those are the most common ones. You're also going to see people wearing either golden to represent yellow or silver to represent white. So the white, golden, and silver are going to be everywhere, especially on the windows of the shops. As soon as Christmas is over, you know, like 31st of October, when it's Halloween, people just immediately change to Christmas. That's the same in Brazil. After Christmas, on the 25th, even on the 26th, you're gonna see everything for New Year, because they don't have time to waste, right? They have 1 week to sell it. Speaking of selling clothes, the sixth tradition on our list is the one about wearing completely brand new clothes for the festivities of the New Year's. Now, it started as just the underwear, so if you wanna at least buy some new underwear that can also be either colorful or white. Nowadays, a lot of people even wear the entire outfit new. I have a feeling this one has absolutely no religious reason. I think this is one that the retail industry just kind of snuck in the Brazilian traditions just so that people buy more clothes. I guess it's another selling date for them, but it is anyways a tradition that a lot of Brazilian people follow, that you need to have your outfit, or at least your underwear, completely new, brand new. You should have never ever worn whichever outfit you're wearing for the New Year's Eve before that date. So that's another tradition that is very popular with Brazilians. Obviously, other parts of Brazil will have different traditions, or these traditions might vary in some way, shape, or form throughout Brazil. Many people don't necessarily celebrate some of them or any of them. However, people will know of them. So if you ask an average Brazilian, they probably will know what you're talking about. Or if you're spending your New Year's Eve in Brazil and you see people doing something like that, you know why. I have another video about traditions in Brazil, this time about Christmas. So if you want to take a look into that one, you will see me eating mayonnaise with apple, which is one of the things, but you kind of need to click here to take a look into that and see what it's all about. I wish you and your family a very, very happy holiday and New Year's Eve, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.